Welcome to the 2024 Cavaliers Bourbon Raffle, sponsored by the Cavaliers Arts, Performance, and Education, based in Rosemont, Illinois. Okay, let's get down to the bourbon packages. We're doing something creative and fun this year, and we're doing an early bird drawing that will take place on August 10th, somewhere around 11 o'clock Eastern Time, and at an undisclosed location in Indianapolis. But the package that we have available for that one, the collection, is all based on all of the Drum Corps International World-Class Corps that our Cavaliers will be competing against that week. And each one of these on the table in front of me represents one of those organizations by name or reputation, etc. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. I will go over those individually so that you get to see what you're competing for, and hope you find it fun. Okay, this is one collection, but the first one is obviously our Devil's River to represent the Blue Devils with some blue agave in there. I thought it was the most appropriate to, even though this is a San Antonio distillery, I thought it was the most appropriate to represent the Blue Devils. The second one is Blue Coat's Gin, which is an actual name and is not represented or connected to the organization, but it is the best representation there. And the third one in this set is a Crown Royal, and this one happens to have a bag that has the Lucas Oil Stadium Indianapolis Colts logo on it, so it certainly will remind everybody of the DCI championships and their competitions in Lucas Oil Stadium. The second set includes the bottle of Giant, which is actually a Houston, Texas distillery, but is representative of the longtime Boston Crusaders core song Giant, from the movie Giant of the 1950s. Second one is a respect to our friends, absent friends from the Cadets, in a very nice bottle of Chateau Haut Cadet, and in loving memory of that a classy wine for a classy Corps. The third one is Absolute Mandarin Vodka, a nice big bottle of the vodka. Mandarin oranges were introduced to the West by China, just as the Mandarin's Zhongli Corps originally started by Chinese immigrant community in California. And then, of course, the Great Northern Vanguard. This is actually Wisconsin, Stevens Point, Wisconsin distillery, but and it's only distributed within the state of Wisconsin. But honestly, it was the only thing I could find anywhere where there was a Vanguard included in the name of anything alcoholic. The third set is is including the Phantom Regiment, which is their own label that they distributed recently to some of their donors. We managed to secure a bottle of the Phantom Regiment bourbon to be able to include here. Another bottle of the Old Cavalier bourbon and a bottle of the Bourbon Cream. And these were out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, the Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach, right on the Atlantic. And then, of course, it wouldn't be complete without some of the Colt 45 malt liquor. The Colts were originally started as the Dukes of Dubuque, from the Dubuque, Iowa. They changed their name to Colt 45s in 1969, and they dropped the 45 from their name due to its association with firearms and the Colt 45 malt liquor about 3 years later. The next set includes 11 graves. This is probably the most interesting one of the group. This represents the troopers. It has the trooper's name on it, and it's the only distributed in Wyoming, but its name is associated with a monument of 11 graves at Old Fort Casper in memory of the original 11th Ohio Cavalry that established the fort that became the town and lives on in the troopers. Next one is Blue Run High Rye Bourbon, and this represents the Blue Stars, and it's, of course, the small batch distillery in Georgetown, Kentucky, and it's just a good brand, and it's blue. Next one is Stranahan's Blue Peak, representing the Blue Knights. It's a Colorado brand with single malt whiskey, and obviously perfectly related to the Blue Knights with that title and their use of mountains in many of their logos and representations on the field. Next set is the Journeyman Silver Cross, which represents the Crossman, and it's a silver cross. It was one thing I could find that had the cross representing that great corps from San Antonio, Texas. Next one's Pacific Crest. And I used Four Roses single barrel. This is a nice bottle, a single barrel Four Roses selection. And it's Honor the Rose Bowl, which was the home show for the Pacific Crest for many years. And 13th Colony, representing Spirit of Atlanta, based in Americus, Georgia, has become a prominent brand representing the state of Georgia, and is becoming very, very hard to find, and very searched out by bourbon aficionados. The next set is Old Scout Single Barrel, and this obviously represents Madison Scouts. Perfect name, from the Smooth Ambler Distillery in Kentucky, reflective of one of the oldest continually operating, or the oldest continually operating drum bugle corps in DCI. Heaven's Door Cask Strength is from Nashville. Distillery is from Nashville, Tennessee, and obviously represents Music City Drum Bugle Corps. Bob Dylan is one of the owners, hence the name Heaven's Door in the title of the bourbon. Next one is Delback American Single Malt Whiskey, and that is an Arizona brand. Certainly I chose that because it's got the cactus on the label, so it perfectly represents the Academy and the representation of Arizona. Last set includes Bank Street Bourbon, which represents Jersey Surf, from Scobeyville, New Jersey. It's a New Jersey brand, from an unincorporated area in New Jersey. And not much else is known about this, but it was something we could get from New Jersey that represented Jersey Surf. Cascade Blonde American Whiskey. This Cascade name, but distilled by the old George Dickel Distillery in Tennessee. And one of the most interesting ones is this 2XO Phoenix blend that represents Genesis. One of the things I was able to research was after the first year of competition, the staff at Genesis decided that every year they would renew. The Corps would renew and come back fresh. Kind of the story of the ancient Phoenix coming back from the dead. So it's a good representation. They chose the Phoenix as a logo, and this is the Phoenix blend of the 2XO, which is a pretty high class bourbon from Dixon Dedman, who's a master distiller in the state of Kentucky. And that's the set. Remember to get your tickets by 7 p.m. on Saturday, August 10th, in order to be in on this drawing. And any tickets purchased will still be eligible to win the grand prize or any of the additional collections on September 29th. This is just a way to kind of get in early and give you a little bit extra incentive to get on the front end. Hope you enjoy this, and hope we'll see you for the rest of the adventure. Once again, go to cavaliers.org to get your tickets, and thank you for your participation and your support.